Welcome back. A top Justice Department official is downplaying chances for charges coming out of the latest round of Epstein files that were released. This comes as more people criticize the DOJ's latest release and late release, we should mention, of that information, and after a deal was struck between lawyers for victims of Jeffrey Epstein and the Justice Department. The specifics of that deal have not been released.
Joining us to continue our conversation with this topic, which is going to go on for quite some time, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, good morning.
Good morning.
You got 6 million pages of these documents. 3 million of them have been released, and then of those 3 million, you got who knows how percentage is redacted. What's the responsibility of the DOJ to be transparent, but also to protect the victims? There's got to be a fine line there.
Yeah, there's an extremely fine line. I mean, you have a responsibility to ensure that you're not releasing personal information of any individual, but not victim identity as well. I mean, it's 3.5 million released information documents in compliance with the act that was signed by President Trump. They're saying 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. There's a number of documents, and I have, real information in terms of these types of things, because when you first start off as an attorney, you participate in these type of projects. This would be a document review project, and they talked about it in their release. They said we had more than 500 attorneys participating in the review of this information. I was in large-scale Department of Justice reviews like this, where you got hundreds of attorneys all across the country, and they may take a number of years. You can see that something like this would have taken a number of times, and the Department of Justice owned it, saying, listen, it was either computer error or human error. Some type of error occurred, but I can give you the insight of how that error occurred. You got these young attorneys, they really don't know what they're doing. They're looking at these documents as fast as they can because it's a business. People are saying, get them done, and then you have someone come behind them, call a quality controller. They're going to review what the reviewers have reviewed. And then after that, there may be a little bit more quality control. But if there's someone on top of you saying, get these out as fast as you can, get them to us so we can look at them and release them, there's things that will get missed. And if you're only putting black boxes around things all day and you're just seeing the same images or the same names over and over and over again, things are missing. So I can understand and appreciate how something like that could happen. But it does calls into issue the statement that they said was that the directive was that we will ensure that all of these attorneys will be in compliance with ensuring that all of the information, that no victim identifying information will be produced or unredacted as part of the public production. So you make that statement on the 31st when you release the information, but then you got to roll it back because these folks filed this lawsuit.
Okay, so who decides what gets redacted, right? When we're talking about this, because victims are claiming, hey, you promised to protect our identities. You didn't fully do that all the way, but you're also protecting the identities of some people who they say could be involved in these crimes.
Well, the process, they listed it in their release. They say they provided clear instructions to reviewers, those document reviewers, those attorneys I talked about, that the redactions were to be limited to protection of victims and their families. Some pornographic images are not commercially or not redacted, and they didn't try to redact any celebrities or politicians. So it was specifically tied to victims, but just making sure you have a list of victims, knowing who the victims were, I think that's probably going to be the hardest part. And because this is something happening in multiple locations, things like this will go through the cracks. I mean, on the side of the victims, this is definitely not what you want to see. They filed this and they say life-threatening. They were getting, life threats against their life, but also this was causing them to shut down businesses because now their information is out there. Once it's out there, can't roll it back. So the damage is already done. That's why they were asking it to be taken off the website so that they'd at least have an opportunity to try to figure out where to go from here. This deal at least lets me know that the Department of Justice is owning their mistake, recognizing that we misstepped, and now they're trying to fix it.
If you're a victim, and of course you had this promise of they're going to keep my name secret, if it did get out there, is there a legal remedy for you? Would it be a defamation suit, or what would you do?
The legal remedy would be a lawsuit like this.
Yeah.
And typically it's financial. And so you'd say, now you've gotten my personal information, identifying information out there, and it wasn't supposed to. And each time that you disclose a person's personal information, there is a monetary amount connected to it. And so typically file a claim, you determine if it was released inappropriately, and then you're compensated. I think in this scenario, they weren't really asking for the compensation. They were just asking for the removal and bringing the site down so to continue being able to see it was something that wasn't there. So I would say that the typical process would be to sue for monetary gain. In this scenario, they just want it down as fast as possible. But I have to overemphasize, you can't roll it back. So
Yeah.
it's there, it's out there. Anyone had already saw it. If anyone scraped it, it is there.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.